From the little town of 1770, you can actually jump straight on a boat and head over to Lady Musgrave Island, which is an island made entirely out of dead coral from the Great Barrier Reef. Lady Musgrave Island is home to hundreds of thousands of birds due to the lack of predators in the area. Some species on the island have adapted to become a kind of bush chook because they don't need to fly anymore to find food and survive. But what's really fascinating is one of the first forms of vegetation that appear on the island. They are able to suck up the salt water from the ocean, and they basically deposit all of the salt that is detrimental to the growth of the plant into one leaf, which they call the sacrificial leaf, and that leaf will just drop off when it becomes too toxic for the plant. These coral reef islands are quite small. You could walk around the perimeter of the island in about 20 minutes. It is possible to get a camping permit for the island. It is only $6 a night to camp on the island. The most expensive part is getting here because it is 90 minutes across the open ocean to arrive at this part of the Great Barrier Reef. A lot of people come just to explore the island and go for a bit of a snorkel around the reef, which is the real highlight of the Lady Musgrave Island trip. Turned out that yesterday's conditions for coming to Lady Musgrave Island would have been the most horrendous conditions of all time, and then today it's turned out to be one of the best days they've ever had. That's what they reckon. And it is quite crystal clear and calm, and you could see the bottom of the reef from the boat looking through the surface of the water, so I think we're going to get quite a splendid experience. discovered the sole reason for wearing sunglasses, and it is so that you can take selfies without having squinty eyes. She's filming me filming? Oh, I know, it's filming Inception. Now we've got layers. I'm filming you filming because you filmed me filming. We are here in 1770, snorkeling with the turtles.
Bright and early at 5 a.m.
Oh no. 1770 is a sleepy little town. They have their afternoon siestas where all the cafes and restaurants close in the afternoons. But in that time, there are plenty of sights to see. It is a town of unimaginable beauty. No matter where you go, no matter what you're looking at, you're going to be in awe. I first visited 1770 a few years ago because the traditional owners put on a cultural immersion festival. They had spear throwing, corroboree, music, painting, but it wasn't all just old stuff either. There was one Aboriginal fella there who had created a virtual reality version of Australia as it was back before Captain Cook arrived. So this town is called 1770 because that is the year when Captain Cook, quote unquote, discovered Australia. This is the first place that they saw. And the Cultural Immersion Festival is committed to truth-telling and true reconciliation between First Nations people and the descendants of the colonial settlers. If you're thinking of camping at 1770, the midges here are brutal, especially as the sun sets. So make sure that you come prepared because there is nothing more irritating than waking up in the morning covered in midgie bites. You could easily spend a week here just going on all the little eco tours and the bushwalks and visiting all the beaches. You could swim at a different beach every day of the week and have pretty much the whole beach to yourself. It's a small place, but there's a lot to experience. Got some more drone footage over 1770 just here behind me. Coastline is absolutely gorgeous, and now we're heading off to find some food and maybe go for a swim over the other side at Agnes Waters. My girlfriend is 23 weeks pregnant and she wanted some photos to remember the pregnancy and the beautiful memories that we created during this trip. So we set up some cameras at sunset on Workman's Beach and we were just playing and enjoying each other's company and being silly, but we actually ended up capturing some very special moments just using a Samsung S20. We're both memory collectors and world travelers. In fact, Amanda has a bookshelf full of photo albums from her experiences all over the world. She's more into the photos and I'm more into the video, but together we end up capturing so many memories and being able to show them to our daughter in the future and show her, like, this is what you'd already done before you were even born. That's going to be something really special. We were supposed to get an early night, but the ocean temperature was so perfect and the sunset was so beautiful that we were there until it was completely dark and the midges started biting. We had used the torches on our phones to navigate back to the car. There's something about this particular beach. The sunset goes through so many different colours. You get orange and purple and red, like it's just the whole spectrum of possible sunsets in one evening. If you stop in Maryborough on your way up to 1770, you might notice that the whole town is Mary Poppins themed, including the traffic lights. This is because the author of the original Mary Poppins, which was later adapted into a Disney film, was born right here on the east coast of Australia. My dad and my little sister joined us for this part of the trip so that we could all go four-wheel driving together up Double Island Point and Rainbow Beach. I first met my dad last year at the age of 31. I absolutely adore my little sister and all of the other family members and unique characters that have revealed themselves as I've explored the other side of my family tree. Not far from Rainbow Beach is Tin Can Bay, where it turns out you can actually feed wild humpback dolphins for just $10. Now, of course, at those prices, people are going to be lining up well before it opens, and you need to be there early because there are environmental protections in place to make sure that the dolphins are not overfed by humans. Accommodation at Tin Can Bay is also a little bit cheaper than Rainbow Beach, so if you're not into camping at Double Island Point and you're looking for some value accommodation, the place that we stayed at Tin Can Bay was actually one of the best places that we booked into through the whole trip. This is the very appropriately named Mountain View Road up in Maleny in the Sunshine Coast hinterlands. It's a great place to go if you want to be able to see all of the Glasshouse Mountains in one field of view. And the sun rises on one side and sets on the other, so it doesn't matter if you're not a morning person, you're always going to get those golden hour photographs no matter what. Stopping here was more about rest and relaxation than looking for any crazy adventures. We always need rest on our holidays, otherwise we might burn out and miss out on all the activities we had planned for ourselves. Easter and my birthday fall at the same time, so we've been out at the farm with my dad. Happy birthday to you. You might notice there's just one candle on my cake. That's to represent that this is actually my first birthday with my new family. I've always loved going fast, and I never knew why, and it turns out it's in the blood. Dad's been so keen to teach me how to ride bikes, and I've been enjoying every last minute of it.
Watch out, Bingo. We'll make it, we'll make it, we'll make it.
Don't try and throw it on it. I'll come over and do it. You come back in here with me and roll it.
Bingo's the Kelpie, whining at the fire. He loves chasing the embers for some reason. This is just the beginning of the adventures. There are so many more adventures to do.
The sky looks sick as right now.
Sick as.
Sick as, bro.
You're being Kiwi.
I am Kiwi, bro. How much you leaving with me?